Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate Ironman. Last video, we finally started making potions from all the supplies that we've been collecting for months and months, and we ended up getting 99 herb lore. I should be wearing the cape, shouldn't I? Bad YouTuber. Alright, there's the beautiful herb lore cape that I'll probably never take out of the POH ever again, but I'll just wear it for the video right now. Last video, I used up all the easy herbs that we had first, and now I've saved the worst ones for last. But there's a reason for that. I'll show you why I saved these specifically for last. For the Lancidimes and the Aventos, we don't have the secondaries. I mean, we kind of do, but we don't have everything. I'll be collecting Dragon Scale Dust for these, so I have to teleport to the GE after every trip, and I don't want to have to use the Con Cape to teleport home each time. So instead, we'll take out the Rune Pouch, and I can just buy runes to use the GE teleport, because this will take a long time to do, so it's definitely going to save quite a bit of time. To make the sickle that we're going to need to collect the Mortmire fungus, I'll show you a super secret UIM trick that has never ever been shown before, especially on this channel. We can just buy the silver bar right here. I'm going to make the joke, okay? I'm going to be funny. We got the sicko mode. Getting some God tier agility training in right here. Wait, I want to try something. Let's see how it looks with the vignette. Yeah, that's much better. A little tip for you if you're on RuneLite is that you can use the Menu Swapper Extended plugin, which you can get off the plugin hub on RuneLite, which, by the way, every single plugin in the plugin hub is approved, and they are verified to not be breaking the rules. You use all these plugins at your own risk in terms of it possibly causing the client to crash. The only plugin I really know of which could cause client instability is the GPU plugin, which isn't even on the plugin hub, that's just the default plugin. But anyways, with the Menu Swapper Extended plugin, you can make the Cast Bloom be the left click option, so I could just left click and cast Bloom that way, which is very nice, especially if I'll be doing this method for many hours. And there is 800k spent making the unfinished potions. Just bought 600 law runes for GE teleports, so we'll see how we go with these. God, my character looks so ugly. With the Varrock Medium Diary done, you can use the Grand Exchange teleport as well as the Varrock teleport, but by default that's the right click option, so we can just configure that and set the GE teleport to be the left click teleport. Alright, I'm gonna get started with the method now. Once I'm comfortable and in the rhythm, I'll show you how the method works exactly. Here's the method for collecting Mortmire fungus. There's no way to note them, which is why we're collecting them as we go. Every 2 to 3 trips, I restore my prayer because casting Bloom uses prayer points, and then I have the left click option on the fairy ring / tree set to the previous fairy ring destination, which is BKR. I like to go to this northeast spot. There are a couple other spots southeast of the ring. I'm not sure which one's actually better, but I just like this one. With the Moritania Hard Diary done, you get 2 fungus per pick instead of just 1, as you can see. And you may notice I have half an inventory of potions. This is the best way to do it, because if you instead collected a whole inventory of fungus, you'd have to waste time dropping half your fungus when you got to the GE to make half your potions, and then waste time picking them all up again to make the second half of your potions. But by doing it this way, you don't have to drop anything at the GE. When we get to the GE, we can use the 4-dose into 3-dose potions method, so we don't have to drop anything onto the ground. That's why I have the noted empty vials in my inventory. You need that to do that method. And then we can immediately make the second half of the potions, decant them, and repeat. And a couple last tips. Turn your NPC attack options to right click or hidden, because there's all these snails that crawl around and it's really annoying when you accidentally attack them. And then also you can build the fire pit in the swamp to prevent the swamp decay effect. Although, to be honest, I don't know if that would even help with this method, but it's just a good thing to have built either way. So that's the super energy potion method for UIM. I hope that gave you a bit of insight. And yeah, man, this is one of the reasons why I love playing UIM. You get to figure out and learn really unique methods like this. And we are done with the super energies. That took about 6 hours to do or so. When I decant these, I'm going to decant them into 4-dose potions and keep them as 4-dose. I'm going to have to like make them into 3 and then back into 4-dose. Okay, there we go. Oh, that feels so good to be done with them though. Let's drop that. And the reason why they're in 4 doses is because when you use the M-Lace on the super energies, you can use them on a 1, 2, 3, or 4-dose potion. So it makes sense to use them on the 4 doses because that way you get them done as fast as possible. Because no matter how many doses the potion is, it still takes the same amount of time to make. And if you're curious for a little price check here, here's the super energies and here is the M-Lace, 16 mil worth. This is probably the most chill potion to make because you can see when we unnote them here, all we do is use the M-Lace on there and then we could AFK for like a full inventory of making a stamina. So you can hopefully see now why you want to have these in 4 doses rather than 1, 2, or 3 doses when we're making staminas. And then there's a weird bit of juggling that you have to do because I don't want to turn the super energies also into 1-dose potions, and I have to drop 3 items on the ground anyways. So we're going to drop all of these, decant them to 1-dose potions, and then we could pick them back up and keep on going. So it is probably the most chill potion for UIM, but at the same time, you gotta hope you don't DC at a bad time, because that would be very unfortunate with everything on the ground. Hey, I got each of these stacks down to different values so that when I drop them, each one of them is a different color on the ground. I'm very easy to entertain. Oh, look, this one's blue now. Okay, and there's all the stamina potions made. I think that took like 2.5 hours or something. It was pretty fast. I forgot the fact that we had 4,000 Aventos in my head. I thought I'd be making 4,000 staminas, but because I condensed them into 4 dose potions, I only had to end up making 3,000 potions. And this is the value of them now. The next herb that we're going to use up is going to be the Lantidimes. Now, there's 2 potions we can make out of these. That's the magic potions, which we use potato cactus for, or Antifires, which we need dragon scale dust for, which we would collect as we go. I would much rather have more Antifires than magic potions, because magic potions will be an item that I would just drop right away. I do have the imbued heart, so magic potions have absolutely no use for me. So because of that, I would like to collect as much blue dragon scale dust as possible and make as many Antifires as possible. I have 8k Lantidimes and 4k potato cactus, so the minimum amount of Antifires I have to make is about 4k or 3.8k. But once I make the 3.8k Antifires, I might just keep on going with it if I feel like it, because I could see myself eventually grinding out a bunch of Vorcat, so at least the Antifires have some kind of use for my account. But for now, we're going to start with collecting the dragon scales. Because we're going to be constantly running around dragons, I'm going to need the anti-dragon shield. And you know what, because there's a risk of death, I might actually go and try and stuff as much as possible as I can right now into the looting bag. We're going to take out the Avernic and put it in the stash unit. It has been a very, very long time since I've done Slayer. Like, it was before I did TOB, and I remember specifically for TOB, I grinded out a Dragon Defender so I wouldn't have to have the Slayer Helm in my inventory. And that Dragon Defender eventually became this Avernic Defender, which means I still have my original Dragon Defender in the stash unit here. So we can drop this Dragon Defender and instead put in the Avernic now. And we've got to spend about 1.6 mil GP this time to make these into unfinished potions. I'm buying air runes instead of using the Staff of Air, so that way I could have the lance equipped. Just in case I do die, I don't want to lose the lance. There's no way to note the dragon scales, so I just have to collect them as I go, which means I'll need a pestle and mortar for this method, which is perfect because I have the Herblore cape, so I can just search it and get one for free. Think of all the GP and time I saved by doing that. Alright, if I die doing this method, here's what I'm risking right now. I'll be praying melee the whole time, and the max hit of a blue dragon with its fire breath attack with the anti-dragon shield is 5, so really the only chance for me to die is if I DC. But you know, it's the same thing I say to people that make new hardcores and ask me for advice. First, don't let your hit points go to 0, and second, choose to not DC. So yeah, just make sure you choose for the servers to not DC and you'll be square. Fun fact, by the way, some ground items respawn faster based on the world's population. On the left side, I'm on a 2.2k world with under 100 players, and on the right side, I'm on world 2 with 1400 players. This is proof that the more people on a world, the faster the respawn timer, since it took about 11 seconds on world 2 versus about 17 seconds on the 2.2k world. And this actually does matter for me because I would otherwise have to be waiting around after each rotation of picking up dragon scales if I was on a low population world. I keep seeing all these things pop up on the ground. I mean, obviously I can't pick them up, but there's like constantly drop parties going on in World 2. Now here's the method for making antifires. Because you want to do this on a high population world, it's extra important to use Entity Hider because it'd be so easy to misclick, and you definitely want to have public chat off, trust me on that one. You can always trust someone who says trust me. We're going to be picking up dragon scales from the Myths Guild, so you could have the mythical cape equipped if you don't have the construction cape, but either way, you do want to tally home each trip to restore your health, prayer, and run. You can follow my path down here to the spot, and there's a couple scales along the way that you can pick up. By the way, if you didn't know, Ironman cannot buy dragon scales from Nightmare Zone. People seem to get confused by that a lot. But the only thing they can buy from the resource shop there is redirection scrolls. But once we get to the southwest corner of the dungeon, you pretty much just run in a circle collecting the dragon scales as they spawn. And this is why it's so important to be on a high population world like I just showed before, because if I wasn't, I'd have to stand around waiting after each rotation for the scales to spawn again. After you fill up your inventory, there's a couple kind of safe spots you can go to make your potions without being interrupted by the dragons. I like going to this spot, but if the dragon does attack you, you can run to one of the spots behind this rock sort of safe spot here. You kind of just get a feel for it after you've done it for a while of like how to manipulate the dragon's aggro. But yeah, it's really not a big deal. It doesn't really get in the way much. After you collect the scales, teleport to the GE, crush the scales, and then you could do the same thing as I was doing with the super energies. You may have noticed I moved the pestle and mortar up one inventory spot and down one inventory spot, and I move it each trip for the first half and the second half to make it easier to crush the scales. I also get to leave my prayer on the entire time while I'm doing this because I get to restore my prayer after each trip. And there's the virtual herb level, 101. We are actually in time to see this one for once. That is 470 million total XP. Virtual woodcutting level, 106. Bro, 6 hours. Wait, on Wednesday, today's Monday. Wait, I think I actually will be awake at that time. Frick, dude, I guess I'll be going to bed early that day. Because that's like midnight for me. Frickin' Jagex trying to fix my sleep schedule. Heck you. Okay, it's been about 10 hours now, and we have now made about 3.8k of these antifires. I remember 10 hours ago, I was like, yeah, I'll keep on doing this after 3.8k, and I might just make all of them into antifires. Well, I'm not going to do that, because I really don't want to make any more of these, because they're really annoying to do. And like, realistically, I will not ever be going through this many doses of antifire. So we are good on the antifires for now. 10 hours of herb lords today, about 60k XP per hour, and about 380 antifires made per hour. So with that said, I can go to bed now, and then we could make the magic potions tomorrow. Okay, let's make all these into 4-dose potions so they stack with what we had already. We get a bunch of extra vials. Now we can put these in the looting bag and then get started with the magic potions. This is the same basic method as I showed last video, so there's nothing new to show here. But we do get more XP. We get 172-ish XP per potion versus like the 157 XP we were getting with the antifires. However, with the antifires, you can technically get more XP per potion if you add either lava scale shards or crushed superior dragon bones. You would get more XP overall, but it's kind of annoying going out of the way for either of those. Last time I did Vorkath, I tried making super antifires as I went, but it was super annoying losing an inventory spot to the pestle and mortar, and juggling all my stacks of potions to decant the potions I just made into the right doses. It really just took too much extra time and effort each trip, and if I wanted more Herblore XP, there's better ways of going about it than doing these slow methods. Like I said though, I still have plenty of antifires already, and if I do somehow go through all those, I probably have some bigger personal problems I need to sort out first. I've just been thinking about the value of all these magic potions that I've been making, and for each potion I make, I put in 2k worth of ingredients, and well, I get nothing in return since I'm dropping these over to the main. So it's just kind of weird to think about that. For every magic potion I make, I'm essentially deleting 2k worth of value from my account. Okay, and there's all the magic potions made. To make all the magic potions, it looks like it took about 4 hours, but if I was making these 4.2k potions into the antifires instead, this would have taken about 11 hours, and I would have gotten less XP. And like I said, I probably will never even end up using that many antifires anyways. So I'm actually going to convert all these into 4-dose potions. And then let's do a little price check for 3,100 4-dose magic potions, about 470k, and I'm going to go drop those over to the main, and we're only going to have one more potion that we're going to make before I will consider myself done with the Herblore grind, temporarily at least, for a good bit of time. Alright, and of course the last potion that we're going to be making is going to be the super combat potions, which we're going to need an empty inventory for. So we're going to claim all this stuff back from Arno, and then go die to his spore again so we can have an empty inventory. But first, while I have these seeds on me, because I have them in his spore, I'm going to do a quick little farm run, maybe see if we get the pet, but you probably won't see any farm clips because we're definitely not getting the pet. Oh, hey, we got a genie. Wait, let me get rid of detached camera. Hey, free Herblore XP.
Voila! Neat, trim, and ready for the compost heap.
That's real pretty, Double D. But we only got 10 zillion more to peel. Fruit of the earth!
Potatoes and onions are the key to making super combats on a UIM. Well, I mean, you could use cabbages too, but those are vegetables, and vegetables are gross, and they're for grown-ups. And potatoes and onions don't count as vegetables because they're good, okay? This will be my first time ever making super combats on the account, so I don't exactly know what I'm doing yet. I do know we have to have these potions in 4 doses though in order to make super combats, so we'll decant them all into 4 doses. We have a couple doses left over, we can drop those. Once I'm comfortable with this method, because as you can see, it's going to be a bit complicated, I'll show you how it goes, but I just want to show you right here, this is the very first super combat I have made on the account. And I think there's actually a diary task to do it in the Rock Bank, so let's quickly get that done. There we go, elite task complete. Okay, I literally just got back and I messed it up already. By the way, before we get into this, I just want to show you the value of all this stuff here. Just the torstils themselves are over 54 mil worth, and the value of all this stuff is 74 mil. Dude, you've got to be kidding me. I was just watching Fuse right now. Shout out Fuse, shout out the boy Fuse. I was just watching this video right there. I swear that's Andrew's meat. He has found me. He has found me specifically through Fuse's video. This is a targeted attack against me, I guarantee it. Frick off, dude. For making super combats, I can't really explain it. You kind of just got to look at it to understand the concept, because each person probably does the method slightly differently, like clicking on things in a different order probably. I know it looks like a lot of really complicated clicking, but once you have a rhythm down, which took me like 5 minutes, it's really brainless, although clearly not brainless enough for me to do live commentary, but I'm just not good at that in general. I think the method for super combats that most UIMs think of is just unnoting the stack of vials and then dropping 5 at a time to unnote 5 of each potion, which seems like it would take longer and be quite a bit more click intensive, so hopefully this method helps out some UIMs when they get to this point. By the way, I don't know who originally came up with this method because I've seen it thrown around the UIM Discord for a long time, but the only actual video I could find with this method was by Paternal. So shout out Paternal, shout out UIM Discord, shout out Flesh Champ, shout out UIM Bingo. So yeah, that's the method for making super combats. It's probably the most click intensive of all the potions to make, because there's really not much downtime since you're only making 5 potions at a time. It kind of reminds me of doing construction or thieving, for example, because with stuff like this, the longer your mouse is off the screen, the less XP you get. Since we're almost done with the potions, I threw together a little notepad to give a rough idea of how long I spent making potions over the last week, and it ended up being over 50 hours. So yeah, how about them oranges? Alright, and here is going to be the last of the super combat potions. It was the super strength potions that was the bottleneck, but we could turn all these into the 3 dose, then into 4 dose, and we have 4.2k of the 4 dose super combat potions. Looking at the XP per hour, it looks like I did about 5 hours today and about 2 hours last night, and we averaged over 90k XP per hour today. I am very surprised I was able to hold that. I was going like full focus, full attention the whole time, because for this method, I mean, you kind of have to. But going by this XP, that means I was able to make about 600 super combats per hour. We can do a price check of these as well. So here's the value. 43 mil worth of super combat potions. Because we have super combats on the account now, I'm not going to need the super defense potions, so I'm going to be dropping these over to the main. However, I do still have a use for the super attack pots, because if I use them in conjunction with the Dragon Battle Axe special attack and the pool and the POH, it essentially works as a super combat potion minus the defense, although defense doesn't help DPS anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But for bosses like Calphite Queen, where I only do 1 kill trips, that's where I'd be able to use the super attack potions with the Dragon Battle Axe. And so that way I can save super combat doses, because these are going to be really, really annoying to get back in the future, if / when I ever do go through all these, which hopefully never, or hopefully a very, very, very long time. Dude, I really don't know if I'd want to do this whole entire grind all over again, like the last few months of all this stuff. Like, I really can't see myself doing that again. If anything, I'd just use super attacks. I don't know, dude, but for now, we are set for a long time. But we'll go ahead and convert these into 1 dose potions, so I don't have to waste doses in the future once I go back to PVM. Oh, I need more. I don't have enough vials apparently. Okay, now we got all these 1 dose potions. For those of you that know about Temple OSRS, I just want to show you the gains I've made this week. 90 EHP just in herb lore, and for the whole week I've gained 95 EHP. I don't know if I've ever gained that much EHP before in 1 week. That's That is nuts to me, at least, dude. This is just like a ridiculous amount of Herblore XP to get on the UIM in 1 week on top of that. And for some more very weird flexes, I did make a few records for UIM Herblore. For the weekly, I got rank 5. For the daily, I got to rank 14. For the monthly, rank 5. For the 6 hour, rank 8. And for the year, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. And for the most important one on the UIM high scores for Herblore, we are now front page for Herblore, rank 23. How many front page skills do I have now? Is that 3? We have construction, Herblore, and cooking. That's 3 now on the front page. Dang, dude. This does, however, mean, though, that we are pretty much done with Herblore for the most part. I will be going back a bit later on to work on some of the herbs that we still currently have, but for the most part, for now, we are done, and this is also the last time all of you will see your favorite flowchart up on screen. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye flowchart. Last time you'll see it. But yeah, we do still have a few stacks of herbs, which I will end up using up in the future, but for now, we are done with Herblore, and it is time to move on. I'm going to remove this from the screen. It's been 9.3 mil XP that we've gained, or I should say 9.3 mil that we've gained after raids. I won't reset for now, but I will put the total XP back on here. It's been a long time since I've seen that up there. 471 million total XP. Now you may have noticed there is one thing that was on that flowchart that we didn't end up doing yet, and that's what we're going to be doing next, is going to Mage Training Arena to get the Master Wand for the Kodai, because I want to learn the Mage Bandos method. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you again next time.